This is The Space Shot, episode 360 for May 9th, 2018, The Fifth Element. I'm John Molnix. One of my favorite sci-fi movies released on May 7th, 1997. I haven't had a chance to talk about it until today, so let's get to it. The Fifth Element is a really fun movie, and it's not like any sci-fi you've probably seen over the years. The opening sequence takes place in Egypt in 1914. A group of aliens arrive at a temple to collect stones that hold the four elements: earth, water, air, and fire. A sarcophagus holding the fifth element is taken out of the temple to a waiting spaceship. Fast forward a couple of hundred years to a future New York. It's complete with futuristic apartments, hover taxicabs, and over-the-top fashion choices for literally every character on the screen. The set design and costumes are what struck me most as I watched The Fifth Element for the first time. The plot's also enjoyable and unique, and that, combined with a visual design that's unlike any other sci-fi, is what drew me into this story even more. There's an abundance of comedy, from a half-cocked attempt at a robbery that ends with Bruce Willis's character smirking and laughing like it's an outtake, to his sarcastic response to a police search.
Let's see it.
Sir, are you classified as human?
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
Then you've got Chris Tucker's over-the-top performance as Ruby Rod.
Here he is, the one and only winner of the Gemini Croquette Contest. This boy is fused like fire. So start melting, ladies, because the boy is hotter than hot. He's hot.
Bruce Willis plays Corbin Dallas, an ex-Special Forces operative turned taxi driver. Mila Jovovich plays Lilu, the supreme being in this movie. Gary Oldman is one of my favorite actors, and he can play everyone from Winston Churchill to, in this movie, the evil Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. Ian Holm plays the bumbling priest who reveals the truth for Lilu's character.
She just dropped in on me. Started speaking this bizarre language.
It's not bizarre. It's the divine language, the ancient language.
Okay.
Spoken throughout the universe before time was time. He's a she.
You noticed that, huh?
Yes. It's a miracle.
Miracle she's not dead.
We've not a moment to lose. Wake her up. But gently, because this woman is mankind's most precious possession. She is perfect.
The Fifth Element is a cult classic at this point. It was initially successful in theaters, but not massively so like the sci-fi blockbusters we're used to today. Do yourself a favor and rent this on iTunes or Amazon, and give it a watch. I've got one last piece of pop culture history for today. The Star Trek The Next Generation episode Conspiracy aired on May 9th, 1988. This is probably the best Season 1 episode, and it's definitely the darkest. The best for Season 1 of The Next Generation doesn't set the bar very high, but this episode is weird enough and scary enough to merit watching it. It's not scary in the traditional sense, but for a TV show like Star Trek in the late 80s, it's got some pretty crazy effects. An alien race infiltrated Starfleet Command by infecting the bodies of high-ranking officers. Sadly, this story isn't explored more in future episodes. The nature of episodic television meant that these stories largely reset each week, so we never get to see where these parasitic life forms came from or what their ultimate goal was beyond gaining control of Starfleet. As with most conspiracies, I guess we'll never know the full details. I hope all of you have a fantastic rest of your day. I appreciate each and every one of you that listen to the podcast every day. I'd be incredibly grateful if you could share the podcast with your friends and family. Tag one of them and let them know about your favorite episode. I'd also really appreciate it if you could venture into the Apple Podcasts app or your podcast app of choice and leave a review for The Space Shot. A steady stream of reviews helps ensure The Space Shot is more visible in the Apple Podcasts app. As always, the show notes have more information on today's episode. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Find me at John Molnix. I'm always up to chat. You can also connect with me on Facebook. Just search The Space Shot or check out the links in the show notes and you'll find me. I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side.